Hello, 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 and welcome to the pet room. I did go hunting. I found some pliers. First, I have these little guys. These are for cutting. That is not what I want to use at the moment. These are okay. They have a little bend to their end, which is not a bad thing. And actually, I couldn't find there were these other pliers that I really, really, really like. This would be okay. But these needle nose ones will be acceptable. And why was I looking for pliers? Well, because I have 3 chips that I know of that have bent pins, and there you can see right at the end that is a bent pin. So how to correct such a thing safely? Well, I've always had good luck with these pliers in that I can take the pliers and ever so gently squish the pin a bit, which does have a tendency to get it straight down. And then, well, for the end piece that's a little bit bent out of that, I can usually take my fingernail and apply just a little bit of pressure, and then I can re-examine the actual pin here. Give it just a little wee tweak. And if we look at that again, you can see that that's pretty close. Oh, let me just see here. This one has a bit of a tweak, just a little bit. But anyway, so there, this pin is looking good. Now, what chip is it? Well, that is very hard to see. And this is one that I did not put in a bag, which is unfortunate because I should have marked it. I'm getting some better, stronger glasses. And, aha, okay. I don't know. There we go. I can see that now. It's 6520. Okay. So I'm going to set this in here upside down on another 6520 chip. Now, hello, Penny. I also have here a 6540 chip from the Rusty Dusty Crusty Pest with a bent pin. It is in a bag. It is. So I will take it out. And if I remember rightly, this was bent pretty badly. Yes, it is. Pretty badly indeed. Like right over. Now, I would like to think that I have things here. I thought I had brought another little, whoa, almost dropped it, a little wee screwdriver over here. Perhaps I did not. So what I'm going to attempt with this chip puller. Oh, there, okay. That is a little bit better. I just tweaked it a little wee bit. And then with the pliers, I'm thinking that I can just get enough of a grip to bend that around. And then straighten. And then just tweak it in to position. Ever so gently. Now they hardly ever go back exactly perfect. Okay, there's still a bit of a bend there. Alright, I'm going to try and get the end, the very top, bent over into the correct position. That's the strong part. There's still, why is that not over there? There's still a bend here. So now that I have that sorted, put that back in seemingly to be a pretty good configuration. Alright. So that can go in to the baggie. And so that I know that I have corrected it, I will put a little check mark and toss it over into the rusty, dusty machine. Now here, we have a RAM chip, and it too was pretty bad. The sad thing is that I think that with most of these, well, there was, no, the one, the 6520 that I think was from the dusty, rusty, crusty machine, I did not do, but other things I did do. Now here is the RAM chip. That too is pretty dramatic. I'm thinking that with a little, just a little tweak, maybe a little tweak with this. I'm not sure if that did anything at all. But anyway, I do think, and this one is very dramatic, that I can get the end here, bend it over. And we only have so many bends in these things. Bend it over, then squeeze the whole thing to get it straight, even though this isn't really going to get it back in position terribly yet, but to get it straightened out. Maybe a little tweak sideways. Alright, that's looking much better, but we're still a long way away from being bent back into configuration. Maybe I will use my thumb. Maybe I will not. I must be very careful. Maybe I will use my thumb to just push this over. Because I gotta push from the top and get it lined up. That looks pretty fine. I think maybe just the littlest tweak And if I look at that, I think that's pretty fine. Now, I'm going to take all these things out of the inside of this pet. Not that anything would happen. Hello, Penny. And I'm going to turn it on. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have that chip right there. Okay, so the pet came up. That's all good. So now that it's happy, I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to remove this. This is the screen RAM socket that I have been testing things in. I'll take that chip out. This one I never got to test before. And I believe it was from the Dusty, Rusty, Crusty machine, but I could be wrong. But now that the pins are all happy, I believe they are. Oops. Come on, baby. Okay. That looks good. And now I can turn this on and see if indeed I have a good RAM chip. Oh, it is so close. Wow. You know what? All I see on the screen is one wayward quote. Wow. So subtle. It's kind of midway down the screen, a little bit towards the left. I'm going to let it rest. I'm going to turn it on. Yeah. Oh, so close to working, but not so. Ah, that's too bad. Just one little thing bad. Now, let me see if I can get a look at this. Oh, is it upside down? I think it is. Hang on here. Okay, now I can't really see that as well as I might. Alright, I'm going to look. 65 bad blue business screen. I'm just trying to make sure that I get this chip with the ones that it should be with. Alright, that says 1478. And this, in terms of the date code, does not say that. And it's different print. Not that it makes a tremendous amount of difference. But I would like to make sure that I do get this back. And that is indeed, so it was from the Dusty, Rusty, Crusty machine. And it is bad. Maybe at some point I'll do a video and I'll put in the different, or maybe I'll take a picture of the screen of the different failures. And this is the most subtle failure I have ever seen. One little bit, bite, nibble, bad. But doesn't matter, it's bad. Okay. So now I can put this original RAM chip back in here. And I'll look at that. Yes, okay. And I always talk about the witness mark. That's that little bitty thing just near my fingers at the end. It says, yo, this is the way it goes in. And then I line it up and I put it in. And I turn it on. And we're all good. All right, now, what else do I have here? Oh, yes. There we are. A 6520 chip. That indeed had a bend. And that was not one that I did. That was when I took it out. I discovered the bend. So it is now fixed. Still very hard to see. So with great care, I'm just going to look over the pins one more time. And just tweak. See this? Where'd it go? They look pretty fine. But this one, right at the end, looks like it could use just the tiniest little tweak. Now remember, this chip is the one chip in this whole machine that has a different configuration than all the rest. All right, we're lined up. We're in. I'm just checking it feels okay. Now, wouldn't this be just grand if after all this... And you know what? This chip is bad. I can hear the cassette motor running endlessly. The PET does not come up. So after all that, I'm fixing the pin. Let's just have another look at the pins. They're all fine. But the chip is toast. Oh, how frustrating is that? Oh well. Better to find it now. And now we'll turn the PET back on. And we hear the cassette motor run for a second. And then it comes up. And it's just fine. Just dandy. So, we now have a bag that we don't have a thing for, but I'll throw it over there. It'll come in handy for something. What is this? Oh, another bag that it should be in here. Now, so we have another bag to prepare. And it will be bad. 6520. And you know what? It's so hard to see. There it is. So hard to see the date code. I think it was from the blue bezel machine. So I'll write that because it's possible that I mean, I can always change the bag if it ends up that it's not. So here, good to get these little bags. In my case, they come from Dollarama. There we go. And in we go. Are we in? We're in. Of course, the foam stuff is good too, but anyway. So we'll put that inside the blue bezel machine. The main machine here is still working quite fine. It is. And just looking over here again towards the rusty, dusty machine. And where did I put that 6540 chip? Oh, did it get right down? Good. Yes, there it is. Now I could, I've already checked these. I bent the pin putting it in, so I'm going to leave that. So, I guess now I need to sort of take a look. As they say in Apollo 13, what do we have that's good? But definitely I found faulty chips in both machines. and the blue bezel one, I've never really seen any signs of life. But mind you, I really haven't had a chance to check the chips like this. And dusty, rusty, crusty, I still think there's something with, I'm going to be careful, the machine is on, with this chip. Not necessarily the chip, but the socket, or the cold solder joint underneath or something, because the machine kind of comes up with the funny thing, but when I push on that chip, it changes. But yet I've tried all those chips in this other machine. They all work fine. So, now I have to see. I have done nothing with the ROMs, which are these chips here, which you can't see too well. I have done that because these machines have been upgraded to 2.0 rather than 1.0. But I suppose what I could do, if I get my courage up, is to give another shot with good chips that I know are good when the blue bezel and the dusty, rusty, crusty machine, to see where I see and what is what. But I just got to make sure that if I do that I don't bend any pins, but also that I get things back into this machine where they should be. Because right now I pretty much have the blue bezel machine is very empty, except for the ROM chips. And when I look over at the dusty, rusty, crusty machine, I pretty much have both of them in the same state. So in order to test them, I would have to replace the 6502, the 6520s, the 6522. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically to give them a check. The main chips, the screen RAM, and then 4 RAM chips. That would be enough to see what's what. And it would be nice to know if, with working chips, if something is actually working or not. So I shall ponder this. Anyway, thanks for coming, and if you ever bend a pin, just remember, better to set the chip aside until you are ready to carefully, gently, and with the right tools fix it. And because if you rush it right then and the pin breaks off, it isn't the end of the world, depending on where the pin breaks. If it breaks right at the very top, you're pretty screwed. But if just a little part of the end breaks off, there are ways to overcome this. But anyway, best sometimes just say, "Well, okay, not now. Not going to do it now." And I had to find these little wee pliers, which helped tremendously. Unfortunately, at the 6520, it was bad. Oh well. And and the RAM chip was bad. But the 6540 that goes in the back of the machine, I know I had tested it before, so I believe it to be good. Anyway, still better to know than not know. So thanks for coming to the pet room, David Bradley. Signing off. And one last look at this chip puller that Al Payne gave me. And one last look at these magic little pliers that helped get the chips back. They're out. It's funny. I have other ones that have a shorter little grip to them that I like better, but I couldn't find them. Can you imagine? Anyway, until we meet again, have a lovely, lovely day. From the pet room, I remain David Bradley. Bye for now.